Hello everybody, my name is Cool, but I'm bringing out this video of me playing a board game, and today we'll be playing through Final Girl. This is going to be part number 5 of the Poltergeist saga, and we'll be finishing this up, and we'll be seeing how it goes. We'll see if I can rescue Carolyn again and make it through. This one's on the Maple Lane, and I get to play as Sheila, who's... I love the art for Sheila, but I'll talk more about that probably never. But we're going through the scenario book, Lauren's scenario book, for those who don't know. This is number 5, so if you want to go check out the other ghost ones, feel free to go check that out. But this is going to be Escape to the Burbs. Escape to the Burbs? Yeah, Escape to the Burbs. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, of course, returning, I have my handy-dandy pointer, which I'll be using to point to things, so I can point to stuff around the table. And then also have returning our esteemed guest, the Palm Island box. Palm Island's a great board game, 10 out of 10 I recommend, but also is a fantastic dice tray. So I'm using it as a dice tray because it's been right there for me since the whole time. Also, I feel like I gotta keep the meme going at this point. So what we have on the tables, we had the setup of all the cards. There's my Final Girl stuff. Oh, I forgot to set up that. There we go. Yeah, we got that all set up. We started on Terror level 3, or Horror level 3. I start with 5 time. There's my 6 life over there. Around here in this area, we'll be focusing our camera. There's some dice around. I'll explain what those do later. And then up there, we got the ghost that's set up according to the scenario book. The tarot cards are set up according to the scenario book. The items and the... Well, yeah, the items are random, so I got to set that up. And the... I know the first 2 events are going to come out, which is Boyfriend and the Smallies. And then we have our set up location, which we'll zoom in on in a second. But first, let me go ahead and shuffle up these items. So these are all the items for Maple Lane, because the rulebook just says set it up like normal for Carolyn or for the Poltergeist. So we take out 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because there's 12 items total. So these will not be played. So I'll put these back in their box. If I can find their box. There we go. I've found their box. Cool. And next to that, we gotta shuffle these 10 plus these 2. So Carolyn and Mr. Floppy, I'm gonna shuffle those as best I can, and we'll do like a 2, 3, 3. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sure, that seems random enough. And then we'll get a little bit more. Oh, you know what? I should have taken. Okay, I gotta put 4 items out. So if any of these are Carolyn or Mr. Floppy, they have to go back. Okay, cool. And the rest of these items can go into their places. So there's 2 more items for each one. So 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Got it. I think I did a great job of shuffling there. Oh, hey, look, it's the return of the megaphone. Ha! That has some relevance if you've seen some of the other playthroughs, but I won't talk about it here. Don't want to spoil anything for you. I guess I'm kind of spoiled it since it's the return. It's like I've seen it before. Should have been that. That's fine. Alright, so we got our items all set up. Carolyn's mixed in there along with Mr. Floppy. And we got the tarot deck all set up. The setups here. I got the... So I'm playing with I play with multiple mods here. And those mods are the Queens of Horror deck, which is right there. So the Queens of Horror deck. I also play with the tenacity counters. Queens of Horror deck just gives me another source of random. And it also gives me some marginal control, very, very, very marginal control. And tenacity counters are just basically keep track of my 1s and 2s and allows me to kind of get some small consolation prize for rolling so badly, if that happens. And then the other dice around, I'll talk about when we zoom in, but we have the statistics sheet, which just gives me an idea of what are my chances of rolling certain things, and that pairs pretty nicely with the Queens of Horror deck, because I can choose between flipping cards or rolling dice or a combination of the 2. So knowing the statistics is useful. Yeah, and that's it. Oh, and well, I'll talk about the dice when we come in. So let's zoom in. Oh, also, and for the eagle eye viewer, you might have noticed that I have the white token up here. That's improper. Normally you would have the black token there. But what I do for mine is I just kind of put that token there to symbolize my first death. And if I do die, I will draw from this bag. There are 9 possible tokens for me to come back to life. And there's a 1 in 3 chance that I'll come back to life. And if I do, then I put the health back over there and I come back to life. There's a little black cardboard marker under there to help remind me that it's there. But normally you would have the black token there instead, and then you'll flip it over and it's like, ah, I've survived or not. So that's what that's all about. The ghost, the poltergeist, doesn't have any health. so there's nothing to portray over there. All right, so zooming in, we'll spend the rest of the gameplay. Oh man, I pushed that over too far. We'll spend. Oh, actually, my camera's over too far. Haha, take that, society. We'll spend the rest of the gameplay looking at this specific view. There we go. So what we have here is we have our HUD, or heads-up display, and this is showing. Oh, actually, I do need to scooch this over. We have our heads-up display, which is essentially showing all of the statistics, all of the things. We can see that my health, I start with 6 health, so that's what this dice is for, is to track my health. This is to track the horror level. As it goes up, we'll move that up and down as well. And then this is to track how many cards I get to flip, how many dice I get to roll, what my horror level is, with yellow being 2, green being 3, red being 1. And then of course, well not of course, but then this dice is how hard the killer is punching for. This is how fast the killer's moving. And yeah, that's pretty much, oh, and this is my time. That's how much time I have to spend for purchasing cards, which I'm not going to show when I go into the purchasing phase. I'll just bring it over to so we can talk about it and look at it together. But that's about it. All right, so that's kind of the heads-up display that we have here, the HUD, if you will. So I don't know which of the 2 events are going to come out. I do know that the top 2 are there, and then the starting location, we got this here. So let me go ahead and just confirm starting location. So we got 1, killer's there, 1, 3, 3, 2, 2, me, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. Okay, 1. And also, I do want to note that the rule book, if you look at the lore and scenario book, do note that it says for the setup, use Maple Lane, but there's a photo of playtime. I just want to point that out, because that's like one of those things that, like, I guess last time I played around, I was like, because I did the setup, I was like, this doesn't look right. But then last time, I guess I went by the picture, not by the words. So I'm going by the words since the words are the words. Okay. So now we got that all set up. Let me go ahead and read through the lore for this particular scenario, which is Escape to the Burbs. So the Escape to the Burbs, this is the final for the Poltergeist, and we'll start reading. Carolyn was growing up. She'd learned to resist the poltergeist that had attached itself to her. By the time that she was a freshman in high school, it had been a few years since there had been any incident. The Johnsons had moved to a small town in Middle Tennessee called Spring Hill. They'd settled into the neighborhood in their nice 2-story house on Maple Lane. They befriended their neighbors, especially Mike and Rhonda Smalley, and their daughter, Sheila, was particularly fond of Carolyn. Sheila and Carolyn came to realize that they shared a bond over horrifying experiences, so they looked after one another, but it was especially Sheila looking after Carolyn. Since Carolyn had come to be able to feel the presence of the poltergeist, when her computer went dead and her phone started vibrating, she knew what was happening. The incoming text confirmed it. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Soon you'll be in your rightful place by my side. Back in Creech Manor, forever. H. Creech. She ran to Sheila's house and knocked on the door frantically. Mike Smalley rubbed his eyes and yawned as he answered the door. Despite how shaken she was and how much she pleaded, Carolyn could not convince Mr. Smalley to let her in. It's late, Carolyn. Go home, he said. Home was the last place Carolyn was going. She texted 911 help She texted Sheila 911 help and then scanned the houses at the intersection of Maple Lane and Elm Street. Where could she hide? All right, that's the final reading. Okay, so I am Sheila, and me and Sheila are best friends, and Carolyn is all. Or sorry, I'm Sheila. Me and Carolyn are best friends, and yeah, that's all that. So I'm moving this out of the way, and we got to get our first event, which is going to be, of course, the boyfriend. Boyfriend. So for boyfriend, this one says some words and stuff. Well, this one says, there you go. Place this special victim in the boyfriend's house. This is your boyfriend. If the killer would target you, the killer instead targets the boyfriend. During upkeep, move the boyfriend 2 spaces towards you. Then, if the boyfriend's in your space, lose 2 time. If the boyfriend leaves play, discard this card. Well, that's a little annoying, but hey, it's a little bit of a distraction from the ghost, I guess. So, boyfriend starts in the boyfriend's house, right there. And no true penalty if the boyfriend dies, but the ghost is going to go target the boyfriend before they target me, so that's kind of useful to some degree. I'll move this deck off to the side. So that means that the Smallies is the next one, which is a little annoying, but hey, it happens. Okay, so we got our first. Oh, I gotta initialize our deck. So let me initialize our Queens of Horror deck. 1, 2. Oh, and if you want to know the rules on how to play the mods or what the mods do, I do have in the description. You can find more information there about what they do and how they work. And that'll be the best place to find out. Or you can check out the earlier video that I made regarding what the mods actually do and what mods we're playing with. They've been pretty consistent with the mods. There's been only one on-the-fly modification that I've made, which was on Sacred Grove specifically. But outside of that, all the other mods are pretty much the same ones I'm playing with. So let's see. What are my things gonna? What are the things that I'm gonna do besides try to figure out how to say words? Because apparently I'm not good with the words here. So I got a walk, 2 walks, 2 focuses, weak attack, short rest, all the standard affair. For those who may have not seen the other videos, and if you've seen the other videos, you're probably tired of hearing me saying this by now, but statistically speaking, I need to play 2 actions and then not do any more. Pushing it any further would be very, 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 very unwise. Also, I do need to search a lot of places. I am inconveniently not near that house. So the way Maple Lane works, for those who may not know, is that in order for you to enter a house, you need to knock on the door. You need to convince people to let you in if there's a person in there. If there's no people inside the house, you can just walk in. So that goes a long way to say that I need to get convince cards to enter houses with people in them. Also, the ghost's first movement is actually going to be into the Smalley's house, which is very unfortunate because the ghost is going to target the closest victim. And if there's a tie, which is between this one and this one, if it's a tie, then the ghost is going to go to where the most people are. And if they go to where the most people are, then they're going to go down here, and they're going to go smack some people, and it's going to be awful. So that goes a long way to say that there's going to be potentially a lot of death. So hopefully there's not. But if there is, then I'll be very unfortunate. But I also do want to try to get my power, because I can take an improvise action card, I can take a long rest, which might be useful. But my power is I can discard 1 card to get 2 time, which is very useful. So we will see. We shall see, says the unfortunate person. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a walk. I don't know where I'm walking to. I'm obviously not walking to that house, because that house is connected here. So the best I can do is do maybe 1, 2, 3. If I get the movements, and I can start moving over here to search for people, and hopefully I can find people. Oh, also, the special rules for this scenario are that if I find Carolyn and the dark power has not been revealed, reveal the dark power immediately. So that's the strange thing for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to walk. And we're going to do our customary thing, which is I'm going to use a Queens of Horror deck for my very first roll. I always do it. It's kind of a tradition at this point. So that's a fail. And that's a fail. I can't do anything to re-roll any of that. But that's 2 tenacity. This is my 1, this is my 2. I'm playing on the horror, or nightmare. Sorry, I'm playing on the nightmare level, by the way. Just in case those who are trying to use a mod just wants to know. So I at least get 2 tenacity, but man, was that an awful roll. So no successes. I can either lose 2 time, or I can lose 1 health and 2 time to move 1 space. I think we're gonna go ahead and lose 1 time, or yeah, I'm gonna lose 2 time. So I'm from 6 to 4. And I'm going to lose 1 health, which is very unfortunate. And then I'm going to move 1 space. Sweet. Oh, yeah, no. Alright, so that is... I mean, I guess it kind of looks like it says milk, but no, it's a walk. Okay, so that was my first action. So second action, and I'm going to go and play my walk. And that means that I need to have enough time. Oh, I lose the time or I lost the time, right? Because I failed. I hope I can get 2 successes on this. I have no way to make it better. I could theoretically try to do 2 focuses to get my horror level down to make my roll better, but that's even riskier. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 dice though. And the dice are starting off pretty strong here. So 2 successes. I lose 1 time, so from 4 to 3. And I get to move 2 spaces. We are going to go away from our boyfriend. So 1, 2. We're going to rescue these 2 people. So we're going to reduce the horror by 1. So from 3 to 2. And then we are going to... See, if I take a move 1 space, I can go and jump into one of these houses and start searching. There's the southeast, which the southeast has the megaphone, which is very useful, actually. Megaphone is once per action phase. Yeah, the megaphone was a pretty stellar item last time I had the opportunity to use it. Once per action phase, you may move any victim on the board one space, which can be very useful, especially this early. That's in the southeast over here. And then in the southwest, we have Lucky Dice, which allows me to reroll dice. Yeah, discard to reroll any or all of your dice. So, knowing that information, I think I'm going to take that move one. Oh, actually, I take it back. I'm not going to reduce the horror. No. I'll say that for the future, because I think I'll need that in the future. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and instead get 2 time. So I'm getting 2 time, so from 3 to 5. And then I'm doing this one to move one space, which I'm moving over there, because we already talked about the megaphone being a very useful item. And that means that my next turn, I'm going to try and do 2 searches. I'm going to try to get 2 searches. I don't know if I have enough time, but I'm going to try. And if I can find Carolyn, that'd be great. So knowing that I want 2 searches and 2 close calls, I am going to discard the weak attack to get 1 time right now. So it's going to boost my time from 5 to 6. And that's going to be the end of my turn. So I'm ending my turn there. And now we're going to my purchase phase, which I will purchase 2 close calls and 2 searches. So no movement at all. My whole plan right now is just to search twice. And then next turn I'll figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And then these cards are now liberated. So I spent all my time, it resets back to 6, which is the starting time. And now that we have successfully done, I feel like this is like all off balance, you know? It's like there's more space available. But I don't want to keep like shifting it over. So every time you're like skipping the video, you just like just shift it over slightly. Shift over 1 inch every single time we move around. Yeah, that's how everything works. So that's it for my turn. Now we go over to the killer's turn. The killer is going to do killer things. So Poltergeist is going to do Poltergeist things with Poltergeist friends. Is going to target the nearest final girl or victims, move, and then slash. Well, we already talked about this, but they're going to move into the house here. They don't need to convince anybody. They just walk right in. And they slash the first person, which will increase the bloodlust by 1. And we are now increasing the terror level by 1 from 3 to 4. Or the horror level, sorry, not terror level. And that's it for that. Now we do the first terror card, which is going to be Unseen Forces. Your first space moved each action phase is panicked. That's unfortunate. So we'll put that off to the side. We'll put it down here so I can remember. We'll put like right there. But I mean, it's fortunate that the ghost didn't kill anybody, but it's also unfortunate because now the ghost is going to stay there. So, all right, that's it for that. I'm going to go ahead and do my 2 searches. Search number 1. I will, since I have a reroll, I think I'm going to go ahead and flip cards. So I get a search. The horror level is 2. I theoretically could try to reduce a horror level by 2 before I do my search here, but only have 2, so I can't do more than just get it down to level 2, which is not going to give me a 3rd dice anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Ooh, I could have taken an improvise? Oh, man. That feels silly. Alright, whatever. So we're going to do this in cards, because the dice could be good, but I'm just going to do it in cards. That's a success. Black Queen is a 6, and Red Queen is a 5. So that's 2 successes. Nice. Alright, 2 fails and then 2 successes. Perfect. So that means I get to take the top 2 items. So it's the megaphone and rifle, which is completely useless. Megaphone it is. The rifle is useless because there's nothing for me to actually attack right now. So I'm going to take the megaphone, put it in my hand, and we're going to put the other item down. And I lost 1 time for doing a search. And I'm going to go ahead and play my other search because I do want to search all the items in this location. Oh, I can't, right? Because the first time you search a location, it's... forgot about that. Man, I planned so incorrectly. Well, looks like I'm doing nothing else for the rest of my turn here. I could short... Let me go ahead and short rest. I feel like it's a waste, but just in case... I don't want to short... I'm just going to hold on to it. Man, I feel silly. I feel silly for forgetting that I needed to have... Or I can only search once in each location. So that means I need to go to another house in this block to actually get that last item, which is unfortunate. But hey, I got the megaphone. So I'm going to go ahead and do the megaphone. I'm going to activate it. It says once per action phase, you may move any 1 victim on the board 1 space, which is very convenient for especially getting to houses. So I think I'll start evacuating this house. Oh, sorry, I forgot to move the boyfriend. The boyfriend should have moved to 1, 2 towards me. All right, yeah, forgot about that completely. But I can start moving victims out of their houses, and I can also set it up to where the ghost follows a certain path and leaves me the heck alone. So part of me wants to. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to save them at all. I have no movement. I did not take any movement. I felt it was wise to take two searches instead of any movements, which is very very unfortunate. I could theoretically retcon it and say I got a sprint and a search because I forgot about the thing. Part of me wants to retcon it, but the other part of me is like, let's go with it, because I do need to search anyway. So having it in hand now is fine. Also, my first move is going to be panicked anyway, so I probably want to have multiple sources of movement next turn. So knowing that information, I will megaphone somebody. Is there a way to get the ghost to kill my boyfriend? Can I megaphone my boyfriend? I mean, my boyfriend's counts as a victim, so I can like megaphone my boyfriend away from me, because he'll do 1, 2, and then afterwards he'll do 1, 2 if I stay there. So if I megaphone him backwards once, then I can do that. Challenging proposition here. I think we're gonna go ahead and evacuate somebody from the house. I like the idea of evacuating these people from this house. I need 4 more people? Yeah, so I'm gonna evacuate this person from here. See, I don't want to leave that person doomed, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna move that person away. Because knowing what some of the cars that could be in here are, I want to put that person in the street. So that way the ghost's impact is a little bit minimized. The rest of my cards, I guess I can go ahead and focus, because why not? I had nothing else to do this turn. I'm going to roll 2 dice for this. That's 1 success and 1 fail, but I get a tenacity. Woohoo! I will accept that roll because I mean, well, I would like time to purchase things, but losing 1 time to reduce the horror by 1 is not that big of a deal. I mean, it kind of is, but I don't want to waste my resources here. So I'm down to 4 time, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left. I'm gonna get how many cards back? I'm getting 3 cards back, so I have 8. I have a little bit of time to spend on something like maybe a sprint. I can get a convince. I can maybe get a guard just in case things go awry. I think I might get the guard because corporal form does exist in there, and that could be bad. Well, actually, that wouldn't be that bad because it does the ghost damage as an attack, which the ghost's damage right now is a 1. It could skyrocket soon. I'm not gonna doubt that, but I'm saying logically speaking, it might be worth taking the 1 hit. Kinda? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I reduced the horror by 1, lost the time, and I will hold on to my other focus, or hear me out. If I buy the other focus, right? Or oh man, because the boyfriend's gonna go 1, 2, and I can megaphone. If I megaphone my boyfriend one space closer to me, then I can escape my boyfriend, get the improvise anyway. I like that. I like that plan. All right. Unfortunately, that person's gonna die. I'm gonna megaphone my boyfriend 1 closer to me because it's gonna move 1, 2 at the end of the round. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run from here to here, and in passing, I'm gonna rescue my boyfriend, take improvise, and then do a really cool search with improvise. I should probably get a sprint as well. Knowing that, I need 1 more time. So I think I'll discard the short rest. So from 4 to 5, and that puts me in a really decent spot. So I'll take that as a I'll take it as a good thing. As a good thing overall. So we're gonna end our turn there. With that, I'm gonna get all these zeros back. So my hand is now all of these cards. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in my hand now, and the time I have to spend is 5. I'm gonna buy a distraction, and I have not made my mind up if I want to get a guard or if I want to get a sprint. There's like 1 attack card that I'm really worried about, which is a corporal form. I don't know if I need to be that worried about it, but I feel like I'm kind of gambling a little bit. I mean, it's a 1 in 9 chance it shows up. 1 in 9 chance it shows up. Or I can try to get the sprint to try to move around more. I don't know. Yeah, see, distractions to get the horror level down, and I got the focus as well, so I can possibly get it down pretty good. Like, so we're down to 2 time. Where's the 2? There we are. Alright, so knowing what I know about the deck, I think I will take a guard just in case. Just in case. I'm just going to take the guard just in case. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could alternatively take 2... Actually, no, I lied. I'll take 2 convinces, because that'll put me at 10 cards. Oh, sorry. Bumped the camera. My bad. Sorry, camera. I'm going to take 2 convinces, and the reason why is because I want to have more fodder in my hand. If I take a hit, it's not going to be deathly, hopefully. It's not going to kill me. Fingers crossed. But it could. So, actually... No, hold on. No, I want to know about the deck. So I'm not gonna megaphone my boyfriend. I'm gonna megaphone this person like before, and then my boyfriend's gonna move here. I'll megaphone him closer to me, and then do the things. The reason why is because there's a, I think, wait, is the storm card in here? Let me check. Oh no, I lied. Where the hell did the storm come from is not in here. Okay, all right. In that case, yeah, I'll let him. I'll let him come closer to me then. You know, I want the chance of possibly saving that person. I don't think they'll make it, but maybe they will. Maybe they will. Alright, so get ready for some horrible things to happen. This is Liberated. I've got some convinces. I got a handful of 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are ready to go. So now that's done. The killer's going to activate. They're going to slash this person to increase the horror level by 1, which gives them the dark power, which is invisible barrier, of course. When you enter you may not enter an exit space with Carolyn unless you have full health, which is very inconvenient because a lot of these houses that I'm going to be searching are going to be the edges. So if I find Carolyn here, I can't leave this spot until I heal, and then I gotta like move in and rescue Carolyn. I guess on the one hand I rescued Carolyn, but on the other hand it's like kind of inconvenient. All right. So that is the dark power revealed after the ghost slashed, and now we're going to reveal the tarot card. Corporal form, of course you show up now. I have a weak attack. Let's see, the corporal form has 2 health. Yeah, so I'm not going to bother attacking it. I have nothing, like, I was thinking about getting the guard, but it looks like I gambled and I lost the gamble. So corporal form is going to appear in, Behemoth appears in front of me. I can play action cards to attack it. And then you take damage equal to the killer's attack value plus 1. You may defend as normal. If you take damage, discard an item of your choice? Oh no, I don't like that. Wow. Looks like I have unfortunately decided incorrectly. Yeah, unfortunately I'm going to have to discard the megaphone, which is very unfortunate. Am I going to retcon that? Did I retcon the earlier thing? Let me think. I don't think I retcon the earlier thing. Everybody gets 1 mulligan, so I'm just gonna sneakily no, because technically I know that card's coming up. I should have weighed the risk. So yeah, so we're gonna lose megaphone, which is unfortunate. Thoroughly do not appreciate that at all. We're gonna take 2 damage, so from 5 to 3, and yeah, that's inconvenient. 1, 2. Cool game you got there. Be ashamed if somebody messed up my plans. Alright, so that means I have a walk. And my walk, I really need for it to get 2. So I can do 1, 2, and then I have to move again, 3, and I can't move with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 4 to do that? That's unfortunate. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Man, I didn't get any sprints or anything. I really do want that improvise, so I can make this search pretty good, and also I can try to do this distraction that I have in my hand. Very unfortunate that corporal form showed up when it did, because megaphone was a part of the plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the walk. We are gonna roll dice because we do have ourselves an ability. Actually, because if I just get the horror down 2, even if I don't get the best roll in distraction, because I gotta focus and a distraction. I just need non-bad rolls. Although I'm playing a lot of actions at that point. That's really concerning. But if I can get the horror level down 2 more steps, then I will be rolling 3 dice anyway. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Rolling dice. We got a partial and a fail. I am going to activate Close Call. So we should be at 6. I'm going to activate Close Call. And from here, we are going to spend 2 time to reroll everything. Alright, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's fine, I'll take it. I just didn't want to discard a card. I guess I discarded a card ultimately, but I only discarded 1 instead of 2 and lost some time. So distraction, I reduced the horror by 1, so from 3 to 2. And then I get 1 time back, so from 4 to 5. It's kind of a wash, really, in resources. Not the most convenient. And I get a tenacity. And I will play the focus. And whatever I roll is whatever I roll, unless it's a complete fail. Oh wow, that's pretty close to a complete fail. We are going to discard 2 cards, and that's going to be the Weak Attack and the Convince to make that 1 success. So I lose 1 time, reduce the horror by 1. So from 2 to 1, we are now in the green zone. We'll see how long that lasts. And I go down from 5 to 4. Okay, alright. Salvaged something. So now I need to just immediately walk over there. I got 3 dice to roll. With 3 dice to roll, excuse me, 3 dice to roll, there's a 30% chance. 26% chance I get 2 stars. Oh, and my first move has to be panicked. Oh man. Did I walk earlier? Hold on. Yeah, no, I didn't do my walk earlier. Sorry. I took my walk back because I didn't actually play it. I distractioned first. Okay, so I got my first walk with 3 dice to roll. And this one's panicked. Ooh, nice. So 1 success and 2 fails, which is great. Because it's 1, 2. Great, and since I get to farm the tenacity. Not great because it's dice roll, you know, dice or dice. And I am going to accept that. I'm not going to reroll for that because I want to save my reroll for later. So that was walk number 1. I lose 1 time from 4 to 3. And then I move 1 space. Oh, I have to panic. This is panicked. I'm going to panic. Panic of 2. I make it out. Woohoo! Alright. And then I need to walk 1 more time. Played a lot of cards. This does not feel good. I get to roll 3 dice. That is... I just need 1 success, so I'm going to accept that as it is, because that gives me a full tenacity. And that's it. So cool. So I get to move, lose 1 time. So from 3 to 2. Then move 1 space. And I absolutely do... Oh man, my boyfriend's going to be my space next turn. Ah, that's unfortunate. That means I'm going to lose time. Ah, curse this megaphone nonsense. Although... No, see, what I was thinking is like, if I do 1, 2... Because I was here, if I do 1, 2, and then I rescue my boyfriend, I can take a long rest, I can take an improvise, set myself up for next time around, and then get a sprint, and then hold on to this. Yeah, you know, I think I'll do that. I think I'll do that instead. 1, 2. And I'm going to rescue my boyfriend so he leaves me the heck alone, so I don't lose time next turn. I am going to take an improvise card, and it's going to be for next turn. So there we go. And that is how I'm going to play that out. I really hate that I lost a megaphone when I did. That's stupid corporal form. It's like the worst. The worst. The thing I'm trying to confirm is, do I want to commit to that? I think I do. I do want to commit to that. That was the best use of my dice rolls. I gotta convince, a search, improvise, and a... Oh, sorry, to show you. I gotta convince, a search, improvise, and a close call left. So I'm gonna hold on to those cards. I'm not gonna do anything more, because I feel like doing more would be risky. And I rescue my boyfriend, so I don't have to worry about losing time from them. Although, I probably do need to at least get something to protect myself. Because now the ghost has a target of only me. I got 2 time to spend. Is that 2 time after the walk? Let me see. So let's see, I did a close call to reroll both. And then I lost a time from this. Oh no, I gained 1 time. from this. So that's from 6 to 4, and then +1 to 5, and then -1 to 4, and somewhere along then -1 for that, -1 for that. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where my time is. So I have 2 time left. So knowing that I have 2 time left, I will I'm gonna end my turn. I'm not gonna discard any cards right now. I'm gonna get my zeros back. Oh, that's not a 0. My focus, my short rest back. Oh, that hurts me a little bit more. Those can get more cards back. And I do not have any movement, so I do want to get a sprint. Sprint will have to be my card. I got the improvise because I rescued the boyfriend. So sprint. I kind of wanted to take a guard, but I guess it's a little bit late since corporal form has already been played. Like literally, that's like the biggest worry. The other worry is that the ghost does something that targets me instead, and then they double boot towards me and kill me. If the ghost kills me at this, well, they're only hitting for 1, so I mean it's still bad, but it's not the worst. It's just that corporal form was very inconvenient. Like losing that megaphone, I can't tell the tale anymore about how bad it was for me to lose that megaphone when I did. It was gonna let me manipulate the AI a lot, but losing that little bit of control. All came down to me just kind of hedging my bets. 1 in 9 chance, and it looks like I lost the odds on that one. So time resets to 6. And now the ghost is going to activate. They're going to move and slash. And that gets them up to 3. And now we're going to do the terror card. Next terror card is going to be roads are closed for construction. Place a roadblock token on a exit closest to you. Victims may not be saved at that exit. Now, here's an interesting interaction. So because of Invisible Barrier, it says you may not enter a exit without with Carolyn unless you have full health. So does this card make that no longer an exit? I feel like this card keeps it being an exit because it says you put this at the exit closest to you, and then victims may not be saved at the exit. So I feel like it's still an exit. It's just I can't save people from that exit. I feel like that's what that means. But that's just me kind of interpreting it. So anyway, so we put the roadblock token here, which is thoroughly inconvenient. A little bit less of an easy game here. And we draw the next event, which is going to be the Smallies, which is my parents. So the Smallies place 2 special victims. Place 2 special victims in the Smallies house. Each time one of the Smallies is killed, +1 to the Bloodlust, which is very unfortunate. Because I am nowhere near that. The ghost is in prime position to murder everybody in that house, and that's where the most victims are. If I still had the megaphone, the ghost would be a little bit further along, you know? But no. I had to not have the megaphone. Alright, so should I change plans is the big question. I have a sprint, and I can do 1, 2, 3. The best I can do is go to the ghost and say fight me, instead of fighting them. The ghost will target the victims unless I move into the ghost space, which I have a high risk of dying if I do that, especially with this hand. So I can try to press on. When these 2 die, because I don't think I would have the opportunity to save them. When those 2 die, we're going to increase the horror level or the bloodlust by 4, so from 3 to 7, which is basically near the top. That's going to increase the horror level by 3 total. So we're going to be at 4 horror level, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not convenient. The ghost is going to be moving super fast at 4. They can make it to any space. I don't know. I feel like I kind of need to grit my teeth and search, and then you know, RIP mom and dad. Hopefully the ghost gets the AI gets a thing that forces them to do something different, but we'll see. All right, we're gonna go ahead and commit to our plan of sprinting. We got 3 dice because we got the horror level down as low as we did. Oh, the first movement is panicked. Curses for me remembering that. But we're gonna go ahead and flip. Nope, we're gonna roll 3 dice. That's 1 full success, 2 partial successes. I don't think I'll discard anything for that because I really only need 2 move. Although if I do move here, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I do need 2 successes. That's unfortunate. So knowing that the horror level is not going to increase super dramatically, at least not in a way that's going to be out of... Oh, I should have improvised. Ah, I should have improvised. Darn it. I'm going to discard this Convince and Focus to make that 2 successes. So I'm going to move 3 times, so it doesn't matter where I panic. I mean, I guess it kind of does, but it doesn't matter where I panic. So 2, so thankfully I panic in the correct direction. And I'm going to let the rest of the movement do nothing. And then I'm going to go ahead and improvise, which I should have done first. Because I got to improvise and a search. Actually, I think I should buy my time. Because if I wait I lost the time for that. If I wait, because we burned a lot of time, or we burned a lot of cards, the only thing that's going to happen is like, there's a high risk of the ghost barreling out of control the longer I wait. Best case scenario, I find Carolyn in the southwest, which the southwest has the lucky dice, which allows me to reroll on top. So best case scenario, I find Carolyn, and then I gotta heal, and then I have to run all the way out here to exit. You know, it's better for me to wait a whole turn, because if I do find Carolyn, I can't do anything, because I gotta get back to 6 health before I can even walk into that space, which I feel is sorely overlooked, by the way. I just want to say a sorely overlooked mechanic, or interaction specifically. Like, the fact that Invisible Barrier plus that card exists is a little bit of a nightmare. Contemplating my life here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hold on to what we got there. We're not gonna do anything else. We're going to end our turn. Let's see, do I want more time? Because with 5 time, I can buy a long rest. And we've already established that I cannot search twice in a house. That's one of the major mistakes I made earlier. So I couldn't search twice in a single house. Although, you know what? Because I had 3 movement, I can just go up here. Let me go up here. Because I really do want to find out what that next item is. And if I do happen to find Carolyn here, that's not awful. And that card that's down there, I think it's a shotgun, it's a rifle, it's something useless. But if I can find that this card is not useful, and it's a single search, so the game forced me to move here with 1, and then 2, 3. Oh, I can't move. Ah, I didn't move far enough because the panic moved me into the house. Because 1 and 2 moved me there. Well, that's unfortunate. All right, I don't have enough movement to get into the house anyway. Yeah, the idea was that I just need to search that next item in the southeast, and if that happens to be Carolyn, then I can just kind of walk out of here and win the game after I heal. So yeah, we're just gonna stop it there. We are going to. Oh, I need to get me some water. All right, give me a second. Let me go grab me a bottle of water because I apparently did not prepare. You're back. Whew. Okay, water has been retrieved. Okay, man. Refreshing. All right, so we were trying to figure out, do I want to search now? No, I do not want to search now. I want more material in my hand. So we're gonna end our turn there. We got 5 time. I'm gonna get all these cards back. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I got 5 time. I think I'm going to take a sprint and a search. I could take a close call, but only have 2 spaces left in my hand. Because if I take a close call, I'm going to convince. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm wasting 1 time. 9, 10. I mean, I can choose to not take the weak attack back. Yeah, we'll let the weak attack stay down. And we are going to get the close call. So I handed 10 cards again, but I got to improvise this time around. So hopefully that'll work out for me. We'll see. Got the sprint, focus, convince. And we got our hand of 10 cards ready to take on the world. So the ghost is going to move and slash the first victim, which is going to increase the blood loss by 2. 1, 2, increases the horror level 2, so from 1 to 3, unfortunate, back to yellow. And then we're gonna flip over a tarot card, which is, it's too quiet. If the killer is in the same space as you, increase the horror level by 1. So first increase the horror level by 1. Bloop. And then the killer's gonna target me and move twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, nice. Because the ghost is only, oh, the ghost is moving at 3, no! Curses. Alright, we'll increase the horror by 1 again. So we go from 4 to 5. You know, I'm kind of okay with that. Yeah, on that last kill, the speed of the ghost... Oh, and the damage of the ghost increased too. Damage is 2, speed is 3. I'm not too concerned. I mean, I'm a little concerned, but I'm not too concerned. I gotta heal here, right? I got a short rest. This means that I need to make sure that I get some guards or get out of this house. So first things first, I'm going to improvise with my 2 dice. I am going to flip 1 card, roll 1 die. Oh, I got a guaranteed star over here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to cash in this tenacity. And we're going to flip 1 card. Hey, a queen! So we got 2 stars for improvise. So all my 3s and 4s are successes. Nice. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go and do a search. Rolling 2 dice. 2 successes. Thank you. Thank you, improvise. So top 2 items on the southwest. So these 2. Mr. Floppy, hey! If the dark power has been revealed, you may remove this from the game to ignore the effects of Carolyn. Where are you? If this is discarded for any reason, shuffle it into the nearest item deck. And then lucky dice is discard to reroll any or all of your dice. So I kind of want to hold on to Mr. Floppy because I haven't seen the Carolyn Where Are You card. It's in there, but I'm really worried that I might find Carolyn like pretty early on, and then something bad's gonna happen, like that'll pop up. So while it's nice to have a dice reroll, I feel like I don't necessarily need it right now, so I'm gonna throw it at the bottom. So I was on the first search. I cannot research his house, so I got to sprint. I'm going to try to sprint over here to the next one. My first movement is affected by unseen forces, unless I want to get rid of Mr. Floppy, which I don't. Because I want to hold on to him for the Carolyn, Where Are You? 3s and 4s are successes. My first move of each roll is panicked. I have a walk available. Actually, you know what? Knowing that I have a walk available, should I do a walk instead? No, I'll do a sprint. Best case scenario, this gets me 1, 2, 3 where I want to go anyway. Wow, it's a oof. Do I reroll that? I think I do, because if I don't, I'm gonna end my turn. Man, that's rough. Those lucky dice would have been nice, huh? Alright, we're gonna lose 2 time. Oh, I lost 1 time from the search. Sorry, so I'm down to 3 now. I'm losing 2 time to reroll all that. Alright, not that much better, but okay. So it's 1 success, because remember, because of improvised, 3s and 4s are successes for all my rolls this round. So I get a tenacity, which I'll take. My first move is panicked. Hopefully it panics on the 2. It panics on the 6, of course you do. So I go nowhere for the first move, and then move number 2, I go there. So that's just the first space moved each action phase is panicked, not the first move each movement. I am determined to search since I have the thing, so we're gonna do... Wow, what is that? What is that? What is that? I just want to give you guys an idea of the statistics. There's a 11% chance. 11% chance that I roll 2 2s. And I've done it twice. Part of me wants to try to accept that. I'm gonna lose the health. Man, do I have enough to deal with that though? I really want to say the close call for the search. Actually, I don't need the close call for the search, do I? Because I just need 1 success on the search. Yeah. This is, 1, 2 will get me there. So yeah, okay. We're going to spin the close call in 2 time, which is very unfortunate. And we are going to discard... No, we're not going to discard anything. We're just going to deal with it. Actually, no, take it back. We're not going to spin the close call. We're going to accept that as it is. See, the reason why is because... Oh, no, I can't accept that. I just can't. That's very crummy. The question is, do I want to discard anything? So I really need I need 2 successes if I want to discard something. Alright, you know what? We're going to play this in a friendly way, which is if I find out I have not enough time and I need to discard something for the time, I will just discard something for the time. There. Called it. We're going to commit to it. I don't know why I'm rolling dice again. I'm rolling dice again. Wow, just 1 success. Thanks, game. So I lose 1 time, so I'm down to 0. And then I move 1 space. That was thoroughly unfortunate. I have no time for anything. And all I'm getting back is a focus and a weak attack. The ghost will attack me. Man, this kind of barreled out of control. Like, not in a fun way, more in a, man, dice are actually not dicing right now kind of way. So, let's see. How do I want to try to approach this? I can try to walk again and hope that I don't... Well, I'm going to lose 1 time for walking anyway, so I need to discard something to walk again. The ghost is very close to me, which is one of the problems here. And because the ghost is kind of close to me, they're going to attack me, which will get me down to 1 health. So I think I just need to get 1 guard, and then I'll be fine. Assuming the ghost does not attack twice. If the ghost attacks twice, then I'm a goner anyway. So I'm going to get rid of a focus... And I'm going to get rid of a short rest, which might be my, might spell my doom, but I need that 2 time. And we're up to 2. And now that we are done with that, I'm going to end my turn. I'm going to use these, or get these 2 cards back, the weak attack and the focus. I got to walk and a search. And I'm going to buy a guard, with the idea being that if the ghost does attack me harder than I anticipate, then I will hopefully not be in too bad of shape, but we'll see. We'll see if this is the end of the run. We'll see if it's the end of the run. Alright. Unfortunate circumstances here. So that's it for that. The ghost is going to do their ghost thing. It's going to move up to me, and I will let it happen. So I'm down to 1 health, so I get +1 die at least. So I'll move this down here to remind myself. And now Tarot card shows up, and... Yep. Oh, thankfully they're not going to kill me. They're going to, we're all gonna die. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So they're going to go here. So the ghost, it says, if no victims were killed, increase the bloodlust by 2. That's fine. The horror level is going to go up by 1, but the ghost is going to leave me alone. 1, 2, 3, because I have the movement for this. And they're going to slash 2 people. 2. They're going to go where the more victims are. And 1, 2. Horror level goes up to the scary level 6. People did die, so no more bloodlust increase. And yeah, that's a little bit of reprieve, just a little bit. My time resets back to 6. I'm starting to run out of victims to rescue though, which is a little bit of a unnerving thing. Really wish I had that megaphone. I will continue to complain about that. So I am in a situation to where I could potentially die from walking. But if I die from walking, then I blame society. So I have no rerolls, no close calls. What I roll is what I get. And I cannot afford to have any fails. A complete fail. What are my chances of that? There's a 4% chance. 4% chance that I get all bad things. So. Okay, cool. We got 1 success. That's all I needed. 1 success. I'm going to walk into the house. I'm going to take this tenacity. This is my 1. And I lose a time. And now we're going to search. I can afford to fail this one. I hope I don't, but I can afford to. So we're going to roll 2 dice, or 3 dice. I just need to look at the top item, really. And wow, that's, we're accepting that because I can't not accept that. I'm going to get rid of the weak attack and focus, which is very dangerous. Oh, I'm going to focus back, aren't I? Yeah, never mind. I was going to say it's very dangerous because the horror level's at 6, which means 1 more increase and it goes to red. But that's 2 tenacity, so that's 1, 2. And I discarded 2 cards to make that a full success. So I get the top item, which is going to be the Bible. Curses. The Bible, +2 dice when resolving a convince action card. Ugh. This is like, ugh, this is garbage. I don't want this. I don't want this nonsense. Alright, well, that's it for our turn. Spent a lot of cards to do a bunch of nothing. Oh, I lost the time for searching. Yeah, I lost the time for searching. So from 5 to 4. Okay. And I get all these zeros back, and I got 4 time to spend. Huh. Part of me is wondering, should I have discarded the guard to get the heal? Because I feel like I'm gonna need to heal up. Oh, I've searched this place. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So my next place that I want to go will be here. So I need to convince to get in my own. I feel like I should be able to get into my own house. You know, my last name is Smalley. Why can't I get into my own house? What is this? What is this nonsense? Some nonsense. That's what that is. We're gonna take a sprint, a close call, and a convince. Sprint, close call, and convince. That's gonna be 4 total. So 2, 1, 1. And yeah, we're gonna move on. Hopefully the ghost leaves me alone. We'll see. The ghost is gonna slash that person. And the ghost is now at their strongest. So 4 and 3. And I'm still at 1 health here, so that's unfortunate. And oh, if the ghost kills another person, then I will take a damage, which could potentially kill me if they kill multiple people. So hopefully only kill 1, but I've seen worse. I've seen worse. They just got hit by a car. If there are no victims in any street spaces, discard and draw another tarot card. Otherwise, okay, nobody's in the street. The shadows are closing in. If there are no victims on the board, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I think this is death. So no matter what I do, I'm going to die. Because the bloodlust is going to go up to 7. Plus 1, which is going to increase the... Or sorry, the horror level is going to go up to 7, plus 1, which is going to increase the bloodlust by 1, which means I'm going to take a damage. So this is just this first one triggering, so I die. I could guard against it, but I don't have enough guards because I need 2 guards. I need 3 guards to make it through that one. So let's see if I get to continue playing the game or if the game's over. Let's shuffle all these and we'll see. Do I have a nope? It's all death, and that is it. The saga's over. The poltergeist has murdered Sheila. So yeah, so that's kind of that one. I'm relatively ambivalent about this game at this point. I don't know if you've all noticed that, but it's like, you know, there's a lot of mechanical silliness. I feel like this is probably the single first time through the whole series of events. This is the single first time that it felt like it was the player's fault and not the game's fault. What I mean by that is that a lot of the critical decisions that led to the downfall of this game for me, the downfall of this playthrough specifically, a lot of those critical decisions came on me because I even mentioned, if you go back and listen to it earlier in the video, I was like, should I buy a guard or should I go ahead and get a search? I don't know. I feel like getting a search is greedy because I know corporal form exists and blah, blah, blah. With the thought process being that corporal form is going to punch me, it was going to be annoying, as I had to deal with the damage, but I was not aware at the time that it also forced me to discard an item card, which at that point, the critical item of Megaphone would have helped me move around people, manipulate the AI a lot more, and make it to where I can delay a lot of things. Like the fact that I wasted a whole turn trying to save my boyfriend, which got me here to get my improvise, was an unfortunate consequence of that. The simple fact that losing that one single item also caused me to not be able to kind of move people around to keep the ghost over here and busy. Instead, the ghost was going to fly over here and, you know, smack me around a little bit, which, you know, in hindsight, the ghost would have done that anyway, because I think the card that brought the ghost towards me anyway was one that said target me. And that one specifically was saying target me. So the best I could have done is I could have moved one of the parents out, and then the other one would have died, and then the next turn the ghost would have moved up and to try to smack me around. That might have been the best thing, but then keep in mind that if that person's in the street at that point, then this happens, and that's, you know, a person, one victim in the street spaces of your choice is killed, and then the ghost is going to kill a person anyway. So like there was, you know, the game was gonna clamp down, but I felt like this was like one of the few times that the game took a step back and said, okay, I'm gonna let you play the game, make your decisions, and let you see how it goes. And, you know, I made my decisions, and some were suboptimal. The fact that it took 2 searches. Forgetting that I can only search each house once, that was like a big blunder on my part, a big tactical error on my part. If I had remembered that, I would have taken the search, and then I would have taken maybe a sprint so I can position myself in another house, something like that. might have worked out for me. But ultimately, that wasn't in the cards. And then also the fact that I searched 4 times and I did not find Carolyn. It's kind of a 50-50 anyway if I'm going to find Carolyn that early. But it turns out Carolyn was in somewhere else. Let's see, northwest. Nope. So Carolyn was in the northeast. So Carolyn was up here. Finding Mr. Floppy, like I feel like it's, oh man, she was all at the bottom too. Ew, gross. Finding the Mr. Floppy that early was also nice because it kind of gave me a little bit of assurance. Like if the Carolyn Where Are You, which happened to be at the bottom, but the Carolyn Where Are You card came out and I found Carolyn very early, it would be very annoying to kind of have that kind of kick in. But that said, even though I do feel like this is one of those few times that the game took a step back, let me actually sit down and play it and kind of pull levers and see how it goes and roll my dice and manipulate my chances in a reasonable manner. I do feel that there's still a lot of glaring issues with the game. More specifically, and once again, I do want to emphasize that this specifically comes from the fact this game has so many different pieces and so many different things interact with different things that it's nearly impossible to kind of consider every combination until somebody comes across it and then you face it. Case in point, there's a game called John Company. I don't know if you all have heard of that game. John Company 2nd edition specifically. And there's a crisis system. There's like a whole India deck and stuff. If you know anything about the East Indian Trade Company, you are playing the bad guys. You are the bad guys. So there's no way around it. The game does a very good job of approaching it and kind of make you think about it more critically, and I love that a lot about it. But what I'm trying to point out is that even in that game, as complex of a mechanical game as that is, when it comes to the Event in India deck, there's a lot of people, I point specifically to myself, who struggle to try to figure out what the heck does it mean. Okay, what does it mean when I do this and then this happens, and then I do this plus this in this board state? What does it mean? And the designer has even said that he tried to put as many Cole Worley even said himself on one of his playthroughs with Heavy Cardboard is that he's tried to consider all combinations, but even then there were combinations he didn't think of that people came to the forums and he answered in the forums. So this is me just trying to say that even in a game as singly complex as John Company, which is a very, depending on your perspective, heavy game, I think it's relatively middle of the road as far as mechanics. It's just heavy in the interactions with players. Has some things that are not considered. When it comes to Final Girl has the same problem, specifically because there's modules that can interact with other modules. Like Maple Lane was designed specifically to play against Dr. Fright and to play with Sheila and all the other people. Like it's kind of tailor-made to work with those. If you play with those two things, you have this really cool synergy and things make sense. Dr. Fright does things that kind of make you feel bad, and then the Maple Lane does things that make you feel good, and kind of has this balance to it. To where when you play with Poltergeist, who's meant for a different level, and you play it on Maple Lane, they are compatible and it does function. But then you have strange interactions like Invisible Barrier plus this one being closed. Or actually, sorry, no, just Invisible Barrier in general plus these houses on the end. So it's to the point where Invisible Barrier says, you may not enter a exit space with Carolyn unless you have full health. So that means that if you happen to find Carolyn in this house, or if Carolyn, we know Carolyn's in the northeast. So if I'd happened to be up here and I successfully found Carolyn, here and I had exactly 1 health, that means that I'm not allowed to move from this space. I can't, because there's no other way for me to move out of this space, which I find is very silly, because it's one, I'm pretty sure the designers weren't considering that when they were designing this specific module, and they designed that specific module by itself too. Like maybe they weren't considering those things, but knowing that means that these spaces are completely unusable. And then also going into Creech Manor is where this one was kind of designed for. Creech Manor as a location, bring it up here, you can see that you don't really need the exit spaces to do anything. It's convenient to kind of move from here and then walk around there, but it's kind of a bear to travel inside of Creech Manor anyway. So when Invisible Barrier shows up, it's plain and simple. You're not allowed to leave the house until you have full health. Boom, that's what that means. But then you have situations like this to where the green spaces, the exit spaces are critical for you to move around. And if you find Carolyn and you happen to not be max health, then unfortunately you just got to sit there and heal. And that's a very unfortunate circumstance because, there's a lot of nightmare scenarios that can happen. And some people might say that tells a cool story. And it's like, yes, once again, going back to my my thing of acknowledging the fact that this does tell a cool story, but then also just countering by saying that, but that's also sloppy mechanics, from the perspective of like, did you consider that? What I mean by that is like, do I have the ability to leave Carolyn behind so I can like run away and stuff and then come back and pick Carolyn up when I'm ready? Do I have the ability to put Carolyn somewhere else where she's not in my hand? Because Carolyn must go in your hand spot. Like you can't put Carolyn in your backpack. There's nothing else you can do with Carolyn. Or maybe if the car was a little bit more specific, specifically this one, invisible barrier, and you know it might have been addressed on the forums by now. I don't know. I haven't checked it. I would hope that I wouldn't have to check the forums, but I do know for a fact, even with games like John Company and PAX Transhumanity, Imperium, The Contention, a whole bunch of other games, that the forums are needed to clarify because there's some weird interactions that can come up based on circumstance and based on board state that designers very reasonably don't consider. And once again, I'm putting out a justification to show that I'm not trying to be unreasonable here. I'm just trying to state why I feel the way I feel about the game and some of the mechanics that come into it. But going back into here, like if the rules here were a little bit more clear, saying that you're not allowed to escape with Carolyn with exit spaces, that'll be different. That'll be different because that means, okay, cool, this is no longer a worry. Like, yeah, I found Carolyn, that's unfortunate, but I can still run away from the ghost or, run away from the killer. Or in this particular situation, I cannot use this to escape anybody anyway. So the question is like, am I allowed to travel through it? And based on the current printing of it, based on the current explicit reading of it, no, I'm not allowed to enter a space with the little door, the little green spaces. I'm not allowed to go into it with Carolyn in my hand. So that means that even if I'm here and I cannot escape through here, if I find Carolyn here, it's unfortunate. I'm just stuck here. And then once I find Carolyn, then I gotta walk all the way over here to exit. And that kind of strangeness is very specific to this location, yes, but also it's one of those things of like, okay, can we be a little bit more clear about what we mean by this? Like, am I not allowed to win the game unless I'm full health? Because if I'm not allowed to win the game through an exit when unless I'm at full health, then you should say that on the card instead of keeping the text small. Anyway, so that's kind of like one of the few little bits, and like that's being nitpicky at that point. That's being well, sorry, to some degree that's being nitpicky. I would argue that you should probably clarify a little bit better. But then you take a location like Carnival Blood, for instance. If that event shows up and you find Carolyn, thankfully your search spaces are not that close to exits. As in, like, you don't need to go through an exit to get out of your search spaces. So if you find Carolyn here, for instance, or let me go a pointer. If you find Carolyn over here, for instance, then you have the ability to kind of, walk around and, run away and stuff if you're trying to run away from the killer. If you find Carolyn here, then you can go this way. You can't go that way. I mean, you lose that corner, I guess, if you have Carolyn in hand. But at that point, if you have Carolyn in hand, you're just gonna heal up and walk out anyway. So it's like just maybe two more turns, one more turn, 2 more turns for sure for you to get the full heal that you need to get out. And that's the kind of interaction that I feel that kind of subtracts from the game from time to time. And those are very small things, but those small things add up. And given that I'm already relatively ambivalent towards the game, does not bode very well for me just kind of saying, this is the greatest thing in the world, or all that stuff. So that said, as I told somebody else at a different time, and as I told my friends who was interested in this game, but then I went back and told them, like, hey, there's some things you should know about this game. Like, hey, we need to talk about Final Girl. The main thing was that those interactions are abundant, but those interactions are expected because this is modular. Same thing with any video game that you're trying to design, or any kind of mechanics. Like even Slay the Spire, as a video game that's been out for a while, has some really strange interactions that nobody considers unless you actually play it. Same thing for Dota 2, which is a game I love playing. Has a lot of strange interactions. You have like 100 different people. League of Legends, same thing. Different champions interact different ways with different people, and strange things that are not considered. There's a whole slew of different things that can kind of come up. But at any rate, that's I'll kind of end my post-game analysis at that point. And we will go ahead and end this video here. That was the final one. I am going to go ahead and do the season finale, sorry, the summary, the wrap-up next. So definitely stay tuned for that video, especially if you're watching on YouTube. It'll be the next video. If you're watching live, I'll do that here in a few moments. But outside of that, yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you all whenever.